let's start with like the main thing that I'm really interested in. So what are your thoughts about the future of the events industry right now when everything is remote and different than as it was like all the years before?
Yeah, so it's a big question. I'm sure we'll have a few things to discuss about it.
Sure.
Obviously events went fully virtual, and now many of them, let's say half roughly, are going back to hybrid. Um, People are excited to be in person, but it looks like budgets are growing for both in person and virtual. People are planning to do more virtual this year than last. So they're seeing the benefits of that. I think some of the main reasons for that include obviously the bigger audience, but also sustainability. That's one thing that we definitely hope to get more of a focus. Online naturally affects that, but as we go back in person, how do we create more sustainable in-person events? That's very
Yeah.
key, right?
Yeah.
Um,
We're also just really improving our efficiency and analytics the data that we're able to gather in both virtual and hybrid events is a lot greater than the in-person events only. So there's a lot
Give me
more.
an example of analytics
Well,
that we didn't have.
for example, we can see who's attended or who's visited which booth, who's clicked
Mm,
on various call to action buttons, who's met each other, and the things that they're talking about in chat, we can correlate with that person or the sessions that they're attending. We just have a lot more hard data rather than just assuming if somebody's wandering around at in person at a conference, it's much harder to track where people are going and what they're interested
right.
in.
so we already have that, right? That's like the current benefits of virtual. We could call it improved connections, improved networking using some AI or some data. But for the future of that, we think that you're going to have highly segmented and personalized content in events, especially things related to driving sales and sponsorship ROI, right? So in
Hmm.
any marketing, the more targeted you can be with your audience and your message, the more effective it will be. So that's going to be happening within events for different themes, tracks, audiences, follow-up messages,
Yeah.
and it'll also affect educational content with different people of different experience levels and interest levels to create more
Yeah.
interesting content for everyone.
So with that, we can actually integrate it into a larger marketing campaign and score leads and understand, like not only what's happening at the event, but what's happening throughout the year with all of the different touch points that customer has experienced on their journey.
And it's sort of like
Uh-huh.
events become a marketing channel
Yeah.
Oh,
because
I
of all the
see.
data that you have. And then I think the last big point that we want to share about the future of events would be the fact that because they're so much cheaper to attend and host, you don't have all the travel time, people can attend more events throughout the year. So Michelle is really passionate about helping people think about their event life cycle over the course of the customer journey. And
Yeah.
do you want to speak about like the value of pre and post events, for example?
Yeah. So for example, having a pre-virtual event and that before the in-person event gets people meeting each other, getting a better understanding about who they could meet at the in-person
Right.
event, maybe even having a conversation beforehand so that when you do meet in person, you're not starting at square one, you're further along in that conversation and you can really get more done at the main event.
Yeah, makes sense. I've been like before the pandemic, I've been traveling because as a speaker, I always selected the events that I wanted to attend to. And then I said I will speak there because I want to attend to the event. And so I'm on the other sessions, I'm going to listen. And so when you said it's so obvious for someone to be a sponsor or to be one of the main people who are interested in sharing their ideas, or a company wanting to share their information with potential customers or leads. But for the specific person, what you said at the beginning, so I really want to know who are the people that I'm going to meet. I want to go only to the best sessions that fit my needs and are interesting for me, right? And they're always like, there is this divide between like, I don't know, 60, 70%, maybe more of talks that you go and you say, yeah, it's like something that I know. It's like, it's nice, but it's not that thing. And they're always like this thing that say, okay, this is what I came for. This is the interesting stuff for me, right? So the part of this like individually customized for me, but it's really hard to know what it is. So when you read the agenda, you never know what is like the good stuff for me. How do you do that?
Right. So let's say we've got all this demographic, psychographic data from people as they're registering. Then we can give recommended content based on those data points, recommended sponsors, recommended attendees. So let's take the burden off the attendee and use the data that we have to just, here's a recommended path throughout this conference based on what we already know about you.